So Glenn Greenwald was a guest on Megyn Kelly's.
I want to punch her.
And the equivocation that this bulldog of a former attorney, because she was good. Don't get me wrong. You know that Megyn Kelly's good at what she does. However, Glenn Greenwald was having none of it. But it also goes to show you how don't bring somebody like Glenn Greenwald on your podcast if you think you're going to have the type of narrative that you're trying to feed to your audience that is none the wiser. So
he's not going to have it.
This is what happened the other day.
Okay, well, there's nothing unreasonable about saying being the spokesperson for an on-campus terror group means you violated your terms of staying here and your green card is getting revoked.
I think you're
okay. Right off the bat, she is equivocating this idea that because you have a green card, you are not welcome in this country if you say something that we don't agree with. Now, this has been a talking point.
And you're telling me she's an attorney?
Oh, yeah. That's her trade. She's an attorney by trade.
She's an attorney. And she is suggesting that green card holders are not entitled to First Amendment rights. Is that my understanding? Because the only thing I know this bimbo from was some debate with Trump years back.
Well, I said that she was bleeding all over the place.
Doesn't know what she's talking about.
When I said that she was bleeding all right from just about everywhere. No, but all kidding aside, this will not end well. Going down this road is not going to end well.
All right, let's watch how Glenn handles this situation.
I think you're wildly mischaracterizing the point of this protest. I remember, very well in 2002, people who were opposed to the U.S. invasion of Iraq were told, oh, they were Saddam Hussein supporters. And they would say, no, we're not Saddam Hussein supporters. We just don't think the U.S. should invade Iraq. Same thing now. If you don't support financing Ukraine, you're told, oh, you're a Putin supporter. And you say, no, I'm not a Putin supporter. I just don't want the U.S. involved in this war.
That's a straw man.
These protests.
Bullshit.
How's that a straw man?
No, the straw man. See, this is the thing that she's playing Darvo narcissist games. The straw man was when she introduced the topic by saying that these are terrorist supporters protests. That's the straw man, is claiming that these protests have to do with terrorists or Hamas. So it's very interesting that she's like Darvoing him. Continue.
How about the smirk on her face? Okay.
Were about
that's a straw man,
Megyn, because these protests were against
no one
the
who was
Israeli
out on the
war
streets.
in Gaza. They were not defending Hamas.
They were demanding that Colombia divest. They were demanding that Colombia.
Exactly, but that's not a Hamas. That doesn't mean that you know that that's
the straw man, bitch. That's her doing the straw man right there.
He basically gave away the game, which is you cannot criticize Israel. That's the rule. If you do, we will go all in on our propaganda. That includes you are not allowed in this country anymore. To think that we would get to a point where because of the domestic actions on behalf of Israel, not their genocide of the Palestinian people, but because they want to shut up any form of resistance in the United States is what will ultimately sink their ethno-state. That's how it's gonna happen. Because now you're screwing with our rights here, which is waking up a whole bunch of other people that weren't necessarily already enraged about Israel. But yeah, I can't. Yeah, this is an attorney. This woman. It's fascinating to me. She's really shitty at arguing. Continue.
The anti-Israel protesters modeled themselves after the student movements in the 1980s that were against the apartheid regime, the main demand of which was, we demand that you divest from apartheid South Africa. Okay. That's what these students are demanding, that we demand. That is a peaceful protest, not a violent one.
The American students cannot be deported for having done that, but someone here on a green card can be.
Yes, they can be, because we are now an authoritarian fascist state, not because they are constitutionally supposed to be, because believe it or not, this dumb bitch, it does not matter what your citizenship status is regarding the First Amendment. It has nothing to do with it. It has nothing to do with it. So just because they can do that, because they can avoid the rule of law, because they can get away with sending people across the country without actual charges being filed, just because they can do that, but that's not what they're supposed to be doing. Like this woman, I want to punch her. I really do. People like that make me feel like so frustrated.
Well, it's easy to get frustrated because you can see right through what they're trying to do. What they're doing is just simply trying to find whatever justification they can to support the Zionist state. That's it. There is no rhyme or reason. There is no ulterior motive. It's crystal clear. We are going to go down with the Israel ship if we're not careful. But right now, I don't see any way how we're not. And I think more and more people are going to have to kind of join the ranks, so to speak. There's going to be more students that are going to get deported, and that's going to happen.
And honestly, I can't say this enough. Students on campuses, stay in groups, stay vigilant, look out for each other. People that are citizens need to put
Have your cameras ready. Have your cameras ready.
You know, like students that are citizens, and this is something I want to say, like as somebody who has spent a lot of time in academia, and I have a lot of friends that have gone to a lot of these fancy elite schools. And I honestly, anybody who is an alum of Columbia or any of these schools, and you're not using your voice against that school, shame on you. Shame on you. You are destroying any concept of quality institutions that we may have had ever in this country. Like, this is just ridiculous at this point. I'm so disgusted.